What's up, guys? Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I wanted to dig a little deeper into the Pokemon world, deeper than what we're used to seeing, like scammers, scalpers. Guys, it gets so much deeper than I ever even realized was possible. So we're going to dig a little bit into the dark side of Pokemon today. Behind the bright colors and, the childlike nostalgia of the Pokemon franchise, there is a darker, more unexpected truth to Pokemon. Lying in the shadows, there's a world of high-value heists and organized crime going on, you guys. Today I'm going to be diving into two very shocking real-world stories. There's been a wave of Pokemon robberies going through Melbourne, Australia, and how Japanese mobsters have been using Pokemon cards to launder money. So we're gonna start in Melbourne, Australia, a place that you would expect to be more about kangaroos and not high-stakes heists. So starting mid last year up to now, the city became ground zero for a string of coordinated robberies of local hobby shops. And these weren't your average break-ins. These were professional and precise. And so far there have been over 16 reported cases of smashed windows, disabled security systems, where these people made off with tens of thousands of dollars in Pokemon product. We're talking sealed product, we're talking rare single cards. One shop lost over $100,000 in a single hit. That is absolutely devastating. It's crazy to think that these people are probably sitting there planning how they're going to get into each one of these stores. Disabling security systems, like, who knows how to do that? You have to be a professional at this to know how to do something like that. I would say maybe even somebody that works at the shop, but because it's been multiple shops all throughout the last 9 months to a year, it kind of leads you to believe that it's not just one singular person working at a shop. It is definitely an organized crime group of people doing this. Some of the shop owners that were robbed were they're all completely devastated, but not just financially, but emotionally as well, because a lot of these people are like us, where they have built a community around themselves and have become part of this awesome Pokemon world. There has been some shop owners that haven't been hit yet, but they are nervous that they're going to be. The impact was so intense in the area that a lot of store owners actually considered just shutting down shop. Other stores have obviously ramped up security. They've been taking high value product off the floor. And what's really crazy about this, you guys, it's been going on for so long and not a single arrest has been made. It's kind of crazy to me that stuff like this is happening, but at the same time, it does make sense. So much product in the Pokemon world right now is extremely valuable. And, we don't just have scalpers and scammers out here anymore, guys. We have people that are actually breaking into stores and stealing product. And again, it really sucks because it's affecting people's lives in a really bad way. People that run these stores put a lot of work and effort into building a storefront. It takes a lot of money and it takes a lot of work to become successful in that way. And like I said, the one store that had over $100,000 in product taken, dude, I would be so fucking devastated. I wouldn't know what to do. Obviously, you go to the cops and, you fill out a report and shit like that, but that doesn't do anything. Unless if they can actually catch these people, you're just stuck with nothing, having to start from scratch, if you can even afford to start from scratch at that point. So it's just really sad to see this happening in such a happy community. But now we're gonna head over to Japan, the birthplace, the literal birthplace of Pokemon. So starting back in 2023, reports started surfacing of a surprising new trend in Pokemon, which is Pokemon money laundering. According to Japanese police, the Yakuza, the country's infamous organized crime gang, they are using Pokemon cards to launder money. What they're doing is purchasing rare cards at inflated prices, so then they can turn around and sell them internationally and make it clean money. What makes it so easy for them to do this is because It's a lightweight product, it's got global value, and it's difficult to trace once sold. For example, like a pristine Charizard or a Pikachu Illustrator card can go for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and unlike cash or gold, it can slip through the borders very easy, undetected pretty much, because it's just a Pokemon card. And in one case, an investigation revealed a Tokyo-based collector had ties with the Yakuza through like shell companies, and they were moving cards through a chain of what seemed like a legitimate company and like auctions through that company. The Japanese authority has started cracking down on this over the last like year or so, but they're still saying that it is incredibly hard to track this without some kind of witness or like wiretapping. I'm also curious, I wonder if this has been part of what's causing the Japanese product to become more expensive, because over the last like 6 months or so, Japanese product has skyrocketed. Back in the day, we were able to get Japanese booster boxes for like $50, and now, I mean, it could be because of the surge in value just in general, but going from $50 for a booster box to $200 for a booster box is absolutely crazy to me. Basically quadrupled in value, which again, like I was saying, I don't know if that has anything to do with what's going on right now and the increase in value in Pokemon, but quadrupling their prices on product, whereas in English, it hasn't even doubled in price. So I feel like maybe that might have something to do with it. I don't know, but it's really crazy. Like, so I understand like the Yakuza is this huge criminal gang in Japan. John and I actually used to live in Japan for like 3 years, and even though we're Americans, people still kind of looked at us funny because we're covered in tattoos, which the Yakuza are also covered in tattoos. So I don't know if they've like fully related us to the Yakuza, because I don't think that would make sense, but they definitely looked down on us like we were like from the Yakuza. But anyways, guys, these stories, they remind us that anything with value, whether it's like emotional value or monetary value, it can become a target. And whether it's community card shops like in Melbourne or collectors in Tokyo, the Pokemon world isn't just a game anymore. It's become like a battleground or like criminal opportunity, which is blowing my mind recently. But that does not mean that we give up on the hobby, right? The people that are still in the hobby that are good by far outnumber the bad people in the community, the criminals, whatever you want to call them, scammers, scalpers. To me, it just means that we need to stay informed. We need to protect our collections and the community, and we need to support one another, whether that means collector to collector, collector to store owner. Basically, anyone that makes this community what it is, we all just need to have each other's back. I hope you guys found these stories as interesting as I did. It just blows my mind that Pokemon has been being used for organized crime over the last year, 2 years. I would imagine it's going to get worse right now, just because of the state of the Pokemon world at the moment. Also, guys, real quick before I go, we get to take off a link from the chain. Oh no, it fell. A link from the countdown until John gets home. The updated chain. We are so excited for you to get back, babe. Hurry the fuck up. Hurry up. All right, guys, that was it for today. I will catch you on the next one. Peace.